Jason here from Real Property Management, and today we're going to talk about my first experience in owning a rental property. And I'd love to tell you it's all rosy, but it was actually pretty scary for myself. You know, I was 18, I had never owned a property before, I never even knew what it meant to be a landlord. But I dove straight in because it was recommended to me by my dad actually, and he had a great deal lined up, and well, it turned out to be a pretty good one, and I was really happy with it. I had a good tenant, was there for about a year, and everything was going really smooth. We'd stop by a couple times, make sure the place was in good shape. Didn't get any calls about maintenance because it was a condominium, so there's very little to worry about. And I felt really confident about how this was going. Well, year 2 rolled around and we started to run into some problems. There was a few bounce checks, a lot of missed promises, and I was looking down the road and I had about 2 months of no paid rent and no clear action about where to go next. And I started digging around and I asked a bunch of other landlords about what they do, and they would tell me stories about how they'd have to chase tenants and make sure they got payments raised and get payment plans going. And they really didn't offer me a clear direction about what do I do if this guy's just going to stop paying his rent. And 12 years now later down the road, I could tell you the ins and outs of it, just like any professional property manager could. But being new to the experience, I didn't have a clue, realtors around me didn't have a clue, and the other landlords were not offering any legal advice to myself. So you got to make sure that this doesn't happen to you as well, because I would hate to see you run into the same troubles that I personally did, you know, learning and struggling from scratch. So if you're going to have an eviction in Ontario for non-payment of rent, you have to serve an N4 notice, which allows a tenant anywhere between 14 and 21 more days to pay the rent, depending on how you do it, and make sure you start this process soon. The longer you wait, the more rent you're going to be out. A professional property manager will serve this notice at the start of the month when the rent isn't received, and you should make sure they're doing so on your behalf because you don't want to run into these same problems that I did. Thank you, and I hope you've enjoyed the start of this process. The evictions get a lot more interesting, and the tribunal process in Ontario is considerable. So pay attention and learn what you're getting into. I hope you enjoy being a landlord in Ontario, and I look forward to talking to you more about my experience and what a professional property manager should and can do for you.